I feel immediately like I need to say nothing needs to be that serious. You should not feel the need to constantly overwork yourself. Dealing with feelings of, I was gonna say amphibia, just like feeling like worried about divorce, like worried about getting away from certain people, away from certain situations, wanting to hold on, wanting to lash out, wanting to try to understand where those mistakes are coming from, why you did certain things as mistakes that other people are doing or what you're doing. Just being prepared for the impossible to be possible, but seeing this as a very beautiful thing, like not allowing ourselves to be trapped in frameworks having to do with like hearing like money spells, like trying to tie yourself to things like Upwork, like freelancing, like you don't even need to do all that. It's gonna end up being not so smart in the end. This message may just be for me, it may be for a few specific subscribers, followers, people who happen to bounce around in this energy as well with me. Thank you for being here now. Thank you to Spirit, Ancestors, Future Descendants, to our support group, our spiritual team. We thank you to God. We thank you to the highest angels. We thank you for helping us realign to a super beautiful inner alignment of devotion, of worship, of loving life, of feeling successful, just being here, just knowing that we have been doing all we need to do. Nothing has been a huge mistake. Not feeling the need to even like lie about alignment is coming out. But going back to Upwork, the energy is confusing of using certain freelancing options. It might be better to take a break. Not forth more is what I'm seeing. This is one of the first times I've ever done wax scrying. This is the first time I've ever done wax scrying on camera. These were actually my birthday candles. Shout out to my sister. She got me 6. Oh, we'll take this as a message in itself that I'm just fucking dropping shit. I usually, whenever I'm like extra clumsy, it's always right before I get like big downloads. But maybe some of you are also like this. Just gonna clear and ground the underground world, the underworld, underground gravestones. Thinking of like Bahai life, like really witchy, talking to the dead, using herbs, being inspired by ancient practices like voodoo and juju, seeing the difference in how different cultures are treating spirit, or working with spirits, working with the unknown, the ungrasped, things that are not as physically touchable, things that make other people, I'm specifically seeing like Western white people, like just being screaming, scared, like seeming like almost taking ghosts as a joke when it's not a joke. Not worth trying to realign yourself, trying to judge these people, or trying to improve their life by your knowledge of what you can do, what you trust, your faith. There's no point of trying to pull that out of others who dismiss spirit with their ignorance right away. You can just take it as a silly joke of like, okay, no need to reassure them and their fake beliefs, their false beliefs. The idea of judgment's coming, not like a judgment day. No cold calling, no insurance, no cold calling. Don't do that shit. Don't compare. It's insignificant to compare so much. Your artwork, what you're doing to others, the way you produce, the way you spend time, don't compare. It's insignificant. Please keep at it. Soft touch. It can be very uplifting, actually. This one's like interesting. next time I'm gonna get like different colors. That's always like a beautiful way to get a great image in the end. I'm just someone who's very, I guess you could say, passionate about colors. I don't like bland shit. I don't like basic shit. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Use simple things. Coward. Be brave. Be courageous. Be generous in who you are. I feel like this message, it doesn't matter if it doesn't flow necessarily in a logical sense. It's more feeling like buzzwords, feeling like things like I'm seeing like Edward like scissored hands, not scissored hands, and like a building of city like castles. It's like Twilight, but it's like Edward and Bella, but they're like they're not in the movie. They're like off screen, like just actors to actors talking, but knowing they have a role to play, but they still can talk off screen. And maybe some of us do this in a way, like a different realm that still reaches here. Like I believe very strongly, like our souls, our essence, our being is not just limited to us being the vessel. Like I feel like a lot of us, a lot of very powerful beings that are chosen, that are here doing certain things for certain reasons, we are also communicating with our actual essence in a different realm at the same time. For some of you, this can be overwhelming because you can sense this. You can sense this deeply. It's not to be like, oh, you're not from this world. You're not, like, you're out of this world. But, like, you're literally, like, experiencing, like, multiple things at once on purpose. But they're connected and they're intertwining and they're communicating, talking. And I feel like seeing, like, Bella and Edward from Twilight, but not on screen, off screen, is just, like, the big hint of some of us are connecting a lot. And we might be like off screen, like we're connecting off screen even though we don't get to see each other. Ooh, why is this all frying? Maybe it's because the message is too hot. I'm kidding. Thank you, Spirit, though. Thank you for the angels, for the guides, for protecting us, watching over us. It's also interesting, like, hearing people's messages about like spiritual awareness in the sense like war, but not like physical war, like spiritual wars. And it interests me because it's like, if we're giving messages, especially if the messages are more like futuristic, like this is meant to happen in the future, and like we know there's going to be a spiritual war, does that mean we already claimed the victory like ahead of time? I feel like I'm explaining this a little weird. Like it seems like that in itself is scripted. Like if the messengers on Earth are being told that there's spiritual wars ahead of time, that there's wars happening, then it's like, what, like, how much is actually predetermined? Because does that mean we already know we won all the wars, like the victory's already done? Does this make sense? It probably doesn't need to. It's just like, just let it out, just flow. But it's like turmoil, certain things, menace energy for some of you. Jester comes up for me in my dreams is not a good energy, not something I want around me. Usually something I have to pray to not see me, protection ahead of time. But everyone has different waves of why they see certain things certain ways. So if you see gestures and you're like, I love that energy, I embody that, do you, bro? Do you? Some things though, gestures keep reminding me of being misguided though, as well. Like you're aware you're tricking yourself, or maybe not aware how much you're tricking yourself into thinking certain things are precious to you, good for you, should involve you. Don't be a fool is what Spirit is saying. Don't recognize insecurities all the time. Like you're not recognizing certain insecurities as like hints as something that really should be dealt with a bit further, because it might be blocking you. There's like something about the female body energy wants to be said. But what about this? Like working with like pure, like asking like showering, cleansing, baptizing, reinforcing, anointings, princess shit, misentangle. A lot of things come up so synchronistically. It's so funny. It's so fun. But that's not the jester energy. I don't know. That just wants to keep coming out. Like, that's not what we mean by the jester energy. Body works. Bed Bath and Body Works, like candles. Yummy. Ooh, I'm like experiencing a lot of like pain in my wrist doing this. It's very strange. I'm just going to sage a little bit more. Have you ever like been really close with someone, and if they experience back pain, suddenly randomly you experience back pain? Like this goes back to like the weird connections like outside of the game, like outside of this reality, outside of what we're seeing. But we need to be unified because again, like we're aware of roles, producing, choosing to be the producer. So I'm not aware, but becoming more comfortable with this idea, empowered by it, embodying the Jesus freak energy is coming out. Like, if you love Jesus, fucking love Jesus, dude. Love Jesus with all your heart is what's coming out. A cat meowing, scratching, like a black cat, gray cat looking. Better, not comparable in terms of how, like what, like dense, not densities, just like dense talks, like certain things you find yourself being able to say to certain people, but other people like are vultures in the way that they're going about trying to discuss certain opinions, especially around like freedom, religion, spiritual work. Some people are acting more like vultures, and that needs to be said and addressed and understood and seen, but that energy is kind of being misunderstood sometimes because it's like extra protection. Like if you hear someone, sometimes I watch, I'm saying from personal perspective now, I understand what Spirit's trying to get at. Sometimes I like will be scrolling through TikTok, right? And suddenly like I'm trying to say this a certain way so I'm not like downplaying someone else's their path, what their beliefs are, but so forgive me for how this might come out. But I think it's weird, like for instance, like when people are like you need to understand instead of understand. It's not enough to understand, you need to understand. And it's like a very like buzzwordy, for a very specific, it seems like, type of new age spiritual crowd where they like very strongly believe in like non-playable characters and like 5D. And I'm not saying like this is bad necessarily. It's just sometimes when I hear them, especially when they're saying ego a lot, like they say ego, claim everything's ego and not whatever the fuck is supposed to be opposite of ego for them. But when I hear that, it sounds very aggressive, and I don't think they're meaning to be aggressive. It's just like the filter that's coming through my mind is just to know like this is not for you. But it's like the way it comes through is like a vulture type tone. Like it seems like aggressive, and I know like this is not for me. This is not the present. This is not what like God wants for me. This is not the fault to take on. This it's coming off as like hindrance. Like it's just not it's not the wave. It's not the unique path that will be set and is already here. And it's okay to see how others might try to put you in certain boxes. Like it reminds me of like people immediately thinking I'm really into astrology and know so much astrology if I like spirituality. Like it's just like hovering over these types of factors. But again, it's just discernment, being empowered, because you might feel this even when you're talking to people. Like you like other people might be like no, they're fine, but you can sense like empathically like like get away, just know like this is off. They might be lying. Then I mean, seeing like Scarface, I've never seen the movie, like just really like about like hustling, getting their grind, but like not caring about anyone else, like consequences, like hurting people, difficulties, like judgment, dealing with kind of like not even like political, but like just deciding to do certain things or be shady about certain things, scamming people, stealing. It's just coming out like things you just don't need to be around. Don't need to be around certain like honestly truly protection when certain people just don't want to be your friend, and like you just can't make quick conversation with them, or it just feels like a drag to have normal conversations with certain people. There's a reason for this. And then again, it's not to be like, don't, we're really trying to emphasize we're not judging. We're not judging. We're just understanding like the empowerment of the unique path to really like set us a very specific way to keep a setup for the movie, the show, the play that we're doing. Because we already discussed behind the scenes, yo, this motherfucker not even in this. They didn't make the cast. They didn't make the cast. And that sounds like very like rude, but it's coming out because it needs to be understood. Like certain things are literally just for like learning, experiencing, reading the energy, and understanding how to really amplify and be safe and secure in your golden like alignment, unique destiny path. I keep saying cats again. Unique cat. It says unique cat. There's like a slight hint. I feel like kind of embarrassed almost saying, but there's like a slight hint about the vagina, like about the empowerment of like having a vagina, having feeling sexy even in your wounds, like dealing with like feeling like you made so many mistakes, and it can kind of show up in sexual energy is what's coming out, like misplacing it. It makes me also think so too, but this is me over talking, but it's kind of still on topic. Like I see a lot of men in the spiritual community, or people who identify as like males, like they well sorry, this is, I feel like that sounded so like stupid to say in that way, forgive me, oh my goodness, but now we're arguing in my head, please understand, I need to get grounded. But like how people are like, men should not like masturbate and they need to save their seed to be more spiritual, and this has never quite made sense to me. But I think like spirit's like, okay, but like think of it like with you and your vagina, like if you want to protect your space more, like you don't want to deal with like body aches is coming out, like certain people never should have been around in that way in the first place. Like it's like really understanding how sacred it can be and how worthy and empowering it'll be in the end, and that like really being forced out right now to keep better in alignment with like loving yourself and loving relationships. But it seems to be going beyond, like for some reason like the sexual energy is like creeping up in other factors, like even someone saying creative talents, like it's kind of reminds me of how some people are like, it's like kundalini energy if you like hold it in. Repetitive natures, repetitive thoughts, synchronistic. I'm just hearing nothing matters. Like don't judge what's coming out so much. Just don't judge in general. Just be here. Just be fucking vibe. Be you. Be free. Liberation King. Oh my gosh, not good enough. There's like something better. There's something better. Something sexier. Sexier adventure. Sexier advantage. I think we're like now healing, feeling like healing, like emotional healing in terms of like not being embarrassed with being vulnerable and saying certain things that we deemed weren't sacred or weren't spiritual or weren't okay, weren't like professional in some situations, like just extra vulnerability, allowing that right now. Maya, I think also just like throwing this out there, I've just been really very, very grateful to recognize more and more how powerful music and sound is for connecting with spirit, connecting with yourself, connecting with all that is the source energy. Like I really truly don't think it matters like what religion or background it comes from. Like you can feel spirit. You can feel spirit in music a lot, and I think that's beautiful. I love devotion. I'm just understanding that more. I love worship more. I'm realizing that feels good. It feels good to just fucking wake up and cry because you're just grateful just to just have what you have and know more good shit coming. Like, guarantee more good shit coming. Good ass energy on the way, flying to you, floating with it, already there. Don't compare though. It just keeps coming out. Don't compare. Don't compare. Just do it your own way. Be hopeful. Believe in yourself. Uphold justice. Uphold boundaries. Upload and respect. And recognize purity. Purity is coming out a lot too. Like seeing that. Seeing when certain things people are saying and they might be trendy. It might be funny. But some things are just like, you just deserve more in what you're consuming. Like, it's the easiest way to put it. You just deserve to see something that's actually going to help you in the end. Instead of just, like, adding more. Like, I'm seeing, like, freight trucks. I think that's what they're called. Like, get on the other train. Like, everybody's going to be on that train because it's trendy and it's fun and it's active. But damage. I'm going to be real. It seems very just, like, TikTok energy. Just damage. Social media. Damage sometimes. And needs to like be accountable for time spent on it, time thinking about it. Don't obsess of it. You can produce more and share it a different way. And just like watching, like I'm getting the experience of like someone who is really popular on the internet in the future, and then they just like realize they just need to fucking journal because there's so much they've already put out that doesn't feel like any privacy. So it's like just having a closed door on certain things, on certain boundaries, on certain thoughts, on certain free forms, especially as things continue to progress for you and you continue to change. Like, you don't need all this extra traffic all the time. You don't need to profit off of everything all the time, or for like your hobbies and interests and your niches like need to like, I'm just saying like starving artist type vibes. Like, the abundance doesn't have to come that way. If you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. Like, yeah, this is interesting. Because usually they'll be more clumped together. I don't know if you can really see it. I didn't notice how much. I'm gonna try to bring it closer, but as you can see, all of these are like more scattered out. They kind of remind me of like lily pads, like mosaic, like Van Gogh and stuff. They usually end up all together and they form something at the bottom. So I think it's really interesting that it's separating. It reminds me of like a bird at the same time too, like an eagle, and the way that it's shaped. Just soaring, overseeing. It just feels like everything is already like under, like an underbelt, like it's like being carried, it's being seen, like an over projection, like macro is coming out. Like overheard, overhear what the spirit has to say, what your energy has to say. Please listen, trust it. There's a reason, there's friction, there's tension. You feel weird. Instead of other things where you feel uplifted and you feel immediately and you want to cry because certain things feel really good. It's okay to let these things out. It's okay to feel gracious. It's okay to ask for more grace is coming out. It's not about race is also coming out. It's not about race. Get out of your head. Get off of work. Someone's also saying get with it, and it sounds like jiggy, like dun 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 dun. Also praying to be more secure. If you don't like to pray, that's okay. I'm just throwing that out there. Like that's coming through. Like just feeling really secure in your finances, in your home, and your stability, and your friendships, relationships you have with like working out, your body. Just feeling more secure in what you're eating too, making wiser decisions. A lot of these things are connected. You have a lot of stagnant energy. Make sure you get up, you move things around, move your furniture around if you can sometimes. Go through closets, pantries even too. Someone's saying sometimes it is good to stock up on certain things. That's something to really appreciate more as you move into the future. Just aligning, pray for peace in the world. It's like straight up, it's like don't always think about yourself as much. And just don't compare, or just don't compare. Don't compare. Don't align with shit you don't like. You can tolerate it once, but don't keep going. Like if you know what you do, you can tell right away. Like certain people are just gonna be like, I don't, because it's gonna come off offensive. But like if you can sense someone's like over dramatic or something of this nature, like, and they seem to like be welcoming drama, like an overstock of drama. Sometimes like you have to understand people enable other people a lot, and it becomes like conversation starter, trauma bonding, but it's not cute. There's other shit you could do, you could say, you could be in. There's other energy, and it's there, it's welcoming, but don't compare. It also keeps coming out. No offense is coming out too again. Can we not? It's coming out too. Respecting when you need to say no and you're not vibing with it is basically what's really this overall message. Amen? Amen. God is good. God is great. Thank you for our food. I guess some people probably said this at some point. Praying over your food is coming out. Praying over your finances. It's just giving gratitude. It's not even like just praying. It's just like setting intentions more of like you are fruitful. Money you spend comes back times 10. Now skip. It's coming out. Well, it might be like for certain videos, even certain musics, but it's just awareness. Someone saying belittle. Don't feel like you're being belittled. Because again, don't compare. It's just what keeps coming out. Okay. Wait a minute, I think I left my conscience in the 6th dimension. Now beautiful. Okay.